in this episode, I'm sharing my experience at the Grand Hyatt Café in the Grand Hyatt Taipei, and also the high-speed rail stations and the train itself. So before we get started, if you haven't hit subscribe already, please do so now. And Simon, as you see here, I'm going through the buffet. It's the walkthrough, as we always go through every single walkthrough in buffets. And in this one, the moment you sit down, you're only given an hour, and they actually put a sign on the table that say you have exactly 1 hour to eat, and then you gotta get out.
Are they really strict with that 1 hour? Like they literally do it to the minute?
Yeah, they're very, very strict on that 1 hour. They actually came by to my table like a couple of times because I was going close to that 1 hour limit, and they were saying, hey, you got 5 minutes left, you got 10 minutes left, and they kind of just kept reminding us until they're like, okay, you're ready to leave, because the line coming in was extremely long. It's cool that it's a complimentary buffet, but at the same time don't make it just 1 hour. I mean, you want to eat, there's a lot of food to eat in this buffet, but 1 hour is like you're just literally stuffing your face.
I'm assuming it's a really short amount of time though, because usually like with hotels and stuff, they have those, you know, like those breakfast buffets that they are free, that usually comes with your stay with the hotel, but then, you know, they're only doing it for like 3 hours or something. So that's probably why I would imagine they want you out of there as quick as you can, so they can actually give everybody a chance. How was the seating? Was it large enough?
Yeah, the seating was actually pretty large. I felt like it was like a normal buffet or that any type of cafe style restaurants that you see at hotels. It's kind of like a square shape, so you have seating all around every single hot stations and everything, and they actually have a lot at this buffet. They even have like a milk tea station, a coffee station as well. And with the milk tea station, they actually brew the tea, then they like have the milk on the side and everything. So it was actually really neat. And some of the items that I really liked here was that pecan waffle and the pecan syrup. That's something that you just never see in any other buffets that I've been to in the past, at least.
Yeah, looking at it, it looked like it was pretty good size. Yeah. It looked like a pretty good size with what you saw there, and definitely from what I saw, it looked like there was definitely a lot of different choices for what to eat.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of food to eat there. So after going to the buffet, and we headed over to the high-speed rail station. It's actually not the Taipei high-speed rail. This is called Banqiao, which is one station over. Don't ask me why we went to this one instead of Taipei. I just kind of didn't know which one to go to, so I just kind of chose one to go to from the Uber app, and this was the closest one to where we were at the time.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been there, so I don't even remember which train goes where. I knew, at least from my experience, it definitely was kind of easy going around on the train. Like I just remember it was really easy to get to where you wanted to go, just as long as, you know, they have all the maps and everywhere on the stations and everything. But at least at this point, I don't really remember much. But I know if going again, it's easy to kind of figure out where you need to go and how to get there.
Yeah, so it definitely is very easy to go to different parts of this town. Actually, with this high-speed rail, it does. I think there's like 1 or 2 stations that does connect to like the actual subway itself, but majority of these I think you have to take the bus or Uber or taxi to get here. And you can see a lot of people have their luggages and everything, and it also connects to the airport station as well. So once you buy your ticket, you go through this system and you put in your ticket through, and then once you're walking through, there's actually a lot of restaurants and little shops around that you could buy like souvenirs or just snacks to bring onto a train to snack on.
Okay. That's
and then some of the things I did want to mention is for this high-speed rail, what I learned is you can actually buy the tickets online. Actually, if you buy it early, you could actually get like a discount. I think it's like 10% or maybe up to like 20 or 30% too. But it really depends on like the route that you're taking. And then there's also like I believe like a student or elderly rates as well. So there, in the carts, there's actually two different type of carts. There's like the normal regular carts that everybody will buy, and it's a little bit cheaper. I think it's called the standard fare, which is like maybe 670 Taiwan dollars or less, depending on if you're getting the early rates. Or you could get like a business class, and the business class seats are, I think, double the price of that. And even though it's double the price, you do get snacks on the train itself, and it's a little bit more comfortable too.
How were the snacks? Would it be worth it? Were they pretty good snacks, or just like extra? Like I remember like flying during the pandemic, and they had to change up how they serve snacks or food or anything, and some of the things that you get during that time I wasn't really excited to get, because you're paying pretty much the same price as what you were when everything was normal, and then you just got all these other things that were just like really, you paying the same thing, but they just gave you this box full of stuff that wasn't great. And of course I'm happy now that they've changed back to how it used to be again, so that's a good thing now.
Yeah, in the train station, or I mean in the train itself, the snacks are not, I guess, kind of like what you said. It's not something that you'll be paying extra for. That's not the main reason why you would want to sit in the business cars. It's mainly because the seats are more comfortable in general. Then you have the free Wi-Fi. There's like charging stations on every single seat. So if your train is like 1 or 2 hours long, and you're kind of like taking a train to meet a client or something, and you want to work on your laptop, that's something that's a little bit extra in comparison to the normal fare seats. But as you saw earlier in the video, I did share some of the foods that you can get inside the station itself, and one of them that I got was that pork floss rice triangle thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, to
That's
me,
something that we always get in those 7-Elevens type of shops.
it looked like a triangle gimbap to me, similar.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same thing. I don't know what's the Chinese name for it. I just know it's a triangle-shaped rice.
Yeah, I just go with what I know from what Koreans call it, and I'll call it the triangle gimbap.
Yeah, so when I was coming here getting my seat, somebody had already bought the window seats already. So for me, I had the aisle seat, and as you see here in the video, you can actually recline pretty substantial, like pretty much more than even like first class seats in US airplanes. It feels like, to me at least. And you also have like this footrest that you can put your foot down, and kind of almost like a premium select seat from the Delta planes with that footrest. And you have these huge long like tray tables that slide out all the way, and I think that's even better than airplanes, right?
I think so, for a majority. I think so. I remember I was in Japan one year, and I was taking the Shinkansen, which is the high-speed train over in Japan, from Tokyo heading over to Osaka. And one of the things I really remember was a friend of mine bought the ticket, and I had no idea like what the ticket was. I didn't even know if I was assigned a seat or not. And I kind of went into the train. I asked one of the workers like, oh, where to go. So he pointed me to the right train, which was good. I ended up going to the right train, but I didn't know what seat it was. So I just randomly picked a seat. And I was there, I guess, earlier than other people. And I just kind of sat there thinking like, oh, I'm probably in somebody's seat, so somebody's going to come walk by and they'll probably get angry at me for sitting in there. But what I realized later was that it was actually just the open seating, first come, first serve. You sit wherever you want to. But when I was there, I was just kind of like looking at every single person who would pass by me, thinking like, oh, okay, this person's going to stop. They're going to say, hey, you're in my seat. Can you get out? But of course, I knew very, very little Japanese. And so I was expecting to say it in Japanese and then be like, sorry, I don't know what you're asking. But that was something that was kind of on my mind the whole time until we actually started to leave, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm okay now.
Yeah, so your friend didn't tell you that it was an open seat assignment?
No, he just bought me the ticket because he knew I was going over to Osaka, but he I guess he didn't really explain what went into it. He just told me like, oh, when you get to the station, and if you're not sure which train to go to, go up to the worker. And I knew some Japanese, some words, and I asked one of the workers, doko, which is where, and then I showed him the ticket, and then he just pointed me to there. So that was how I got to the right train. But in terms of the seating, I looked at the ticket, and of course it's written in Japanese as it should be, but it doesn't. It wasn't kind of set up like you see a lot of tickets where it says, okay, this is where you think the aisle and the seat and everything else was. And so I just randomly picked one and sat there and hoped nobody came and talked to me.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as fun as mine. I'm just glad that Taiwan is very bilingual, so it's both written in English and in Chinese, and seat assignments, from the cart, the time, the road, the seat number, everything is printed on the ticket, so there's no confusion there. Also, people don't really check your seat in the business class, at least. I kind of thought, okay, maybe somebody will come by and like check and make sure we're seated at the right seat. But I guess if you're seated at the right seat, nobody checks. But they do have somebody who will come by, take the trash away from your snacks. They will also come by with like a newspaper and see if you needed a newspaper to read or anything like that. And so it's overall, I think the high-speed rail was a really fun experience and a very enjoyable one. Overall, I would definitely take it again. I would recommend it to other people as well, mainly because it's just so quiet and it's so smooth.
And to wrap up the episode are the notables. Unfortunately for this one, there are none.
And to support our channel, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the YouTube algorithm. And for more photos, follow us on Instagram. See you guys on the next episode.